Hey everybody, Puzzle Max here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SengSo Crazy 5x5 V2, Circle 5x5 V2. There's four variations of this, and this is the first one of the SengSo Circle 5x5s that actually has a bit of a difference in the solve from your standard 5x5, especially in creating this circle in the middle. It's not a difficult solve. It just takes a little bit of extra thought and some kind of different planning in order to make things work. I'm going to assume here that you already know how to solve a standard 5x5, so I'm going to go a little quickly once I get to the last, doing the edges and things like that. And I'm also going to assume that you have at least some basic understanding of a circle puzzle, but I will explain things as well as I can as I go here. The way this works is on these circles, these edges, inside circle edges, what I'm going to call them, and these inside circle corners are connected to each other. So this white and this yellow will always be across from each other. Same with this orange on the inside circle here, and this red on the circle on the other side. Those will always be across from each other. The same goes for these little triangles, these inside circle corners, or little triangles. I'll call them both, I'm sure, throughout the solve here. This little yellow one here will always be connected to this little white one here. That corner plays no role, but this little white one will always be connected to this little yellow one, and same over here, where this little yellow one, or orange one rather, this little orange triangle will always be connected to this little red one across from it. That plays true for every single one of these inside the circle. So it makes solving this fairly easy when you understand what you're actually trying to accomplish. The outside faces, when you turn those, it does not rotate this circle in the middle. You can turn those freely, especially once you've gotten the centers built. You can turn these outside edges freely, and it will solve just like a regular 5x5, so long as you bring the centers back to where they belong. And when you turn the double layers, same thing plays true here. No matter on every single face, this circle in the middle will always be a 0. It's never going to rotate with the faces. If you do M slices, any kind of slice turn, it's going to rotate that circle. So it's a matter of just knowing what happens when you move things. The first step in this is probably the easiest. You want to solve the circles on all 6 faces. First part here is to solve the cross for all of these circles. Because these are always 0 faces, they never change orbit. They're never going to go onto any other face that they can't just be solved back with at least 2 turns. At most 2 turns. So for this yellow face, I'm going to just bring all of the yellow circle edges back into position. And that can be done with just 1 or 2 turns on every single one. Bring all those back in. And you'll notice, once I've done that yellow cross on this circle, it's also done the white cross on the opposite face. Same thing for the other faces. Some of these will be done. Most of these will be done because once you've solved some of these, it'll obviously put the others back in because of the orbit that they're in. So this blue one, bring that up to the blue face, and this red one, bring that down to the red face. So now the blue inside cross on the circle is done. The red cross is done. Green cross and orange cross. All that's done. The next step is to get all of these little triangle pieces in place. This seems daunting at first because it's new, but it's actually a very simple step. What you want to do is put whatever face you're trying to finish the circle on as your top face. So I want to finish the red circle as my first face. In doing so, it's also going to solve the orange circle. So just keep that in mind. What I want to find is a red little triangle piece on one of these surrounding faces that can be facing me. So I've got a red little triangle here that's facing me. I can see that if I were to bring this straight up here, it would fall into place where it's supposed to be. I can't just do that because it knocks out that cross and makes that incomplete. So what I want to do is take this red piece, and with a double layer turn on the down face, I'm going to turn this out of the way. So I'm just going to do 2 turns down here, get it out of the way. Now I'm going to bring this position down to the bottom and undo those 2 turns that I just did. That matches that red little triangle up with that circle edge piece, and then just bring that back up. puts that into place and doesn't mess up any of the crosses. I'm going to just complete that series. So let's see here. If I go over here, I don't have any visible red pieces. Here I do have a visible red piece. Now, where can I use that? Well, let's see. If I bring, that's on the top layer, I can see that right now. If I bring this down to here, that empty space, and do a double turn, it's going to pair the orange into that position, which is not what I'm currently looking to do. So let's undo that. But if I put this over here, I can bring this empty slot into this position. And I can also see that if I do a single double layer turn of the top face, that red little triangle goes into that position. So I can use that in order to put that red into this position where the white piece is. I'm just going to bring that white piece down, do a single turn of the up face, and then bring that back up and undo that turn. Ready to go. And I got lucky here because this red piece is in a position that could go right up to here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did for the first one. I'm just going to do a double turn on the bottom here to get that out of the way. So it puts the orange over here on the right-hand side. I'm going to bring this yellow piece down. And when I undo that double turn, it's going to fix the crosses. And it's also going to pair that red little triangle up with the red face. And then just bring that back up. That red circle is now complete. And the rest of my crosses are not broken. But that red circle is done. And because of the way the pieces work, the orange circle is also done. So, same thing goes for the rest of these faces. But you do have to be a bit more careful now, because I'm going to put the orange and the red on the right and left faces. But because of the way I just did things, now I can't do single turns of the double layers on the bottom or the top. Because if I do a single turn there, no matter where I start those red and orange faces, I run the risk of breaking up the red and orange that I've already completed. So let's take a look first, see what I've got here. I've got two green pieces down here in the bottom of this white face. I know that blue needs to go up here. So that tells me that if I do a double turn on this white face, it'll bring blue down into this position. Blue needs to go up here, blue needs to go up here. Perfectly fine. So I'm going to get those two blues out of the way, bring them back to the back where they belong, and I'm going to take either one of these white pieces from the blue circle and bring it down to the bottom. Start with this one on the right-hand side. Bring this down. Now when I do a double turn here, it's going to take this green one, bring it around 180 degrees, and match the blue up here. Bring that around. Then I'm going to undo the turn on the right that I did, and then undo that double turn on the bottom. Because I did double turns on the bottom the entire time, didn't mess up my red circle or my orange circle, and I've put a new blue piece in here. Same thing, I've got a blue sitting right here, waiting to go into this position. First thing I want to do is just get it out of the way with a double turn on the bottom. I'm going to bring this position down and then undo that 180 degree turn on the bottom and then bring this blue back up. Ready to go. So now we can see I've got a little bit of an issue here. This green piece, while it needs to be here, it needs to be flipped 180 degrees so that green is not here, it's down here, and blue is up here. First things first, I need to just get it out of this face. I'm going to do the exact same thing I've been doing. I'm going to bring it down to this white face, 180 degree turn, and then bring this blue back up and undo that 180 degree turn. Well, now you might be thinking, well, this doesn't help any because now I can bring the green up here, but I can't bring the blue up there. Well, you'd think so. But if I turn this just one turn so that the orange is now in front, now you can see that that blue can go into this position where the white is. Normally, on the first face, you could just bring this down and then bring that blue in, undo that, and undo that. But if I do that, I'm going to mess up this orange. So, what I need to do is first put this blue little triangle onto the orange circle. Put that there. Now that's free to go up into this position. So what I'm going to do from here is a 180 degree turn on this yellow piece to get that blue piece out of the way. Now I'm going to bring this white one down onto the orange face. So that blue edge matches up with the orange face. When I do a 180-degree turn, pairs that blue up, I can bring that back up. And then, because I haven't solved the yellow and white faces yet, yellow and white circles yet, that's not messed up. So I can just bring this orange back into place, and it's done. The final face you will either have completely solved, or you'll have a position where two of those little triangles need to flip-flop. They need to turn over. This is also very easy. There's a couple ways to do this. This is probably the easiest. First I'm going to do is put both of those in the back of the puzzle. I'm going to turn them both towards me. So bring that down, bring this down. Then I'm going to do a 180-degree turn on the top two layers. You can see that fixes both of them, but it also takes the green and stuff out, the green and blue out. So then I'm going to do a 180-degree turn on the right-hand side, these two layers. And you'll notice here, if I do another 180-degree turn, these two pieces, these two little triangles, are going to switch positions, but still remain correctly oriented. So if I do a 180-degree turn, fixes that, but it also brings that blue back to being correct. From here, I just need to put these outside pieces back in where they belong. So that yellow goes down to the bottom, this white goes up to the top. And as you can see, all 6 of my circles have been completely solved. The next step is very similar to a regular 5x5 solve, and it's just going to be finishing the centers. It's slightly different, so hang on 1 second. I'll come back and show you how all that works. All right, all of the circles completely done. Now we need to finish the complete centers. Red is my preferred starting point, so that's where I'm going first. This one's a little different because every time you do a slice turn, you're going to bring those circles out of position. So that means I always have to do and then undo a slice turn. So in order to do this, I'm going to solve 2 outside edge pieces. I'm going to call these outside edges, even though they're not completely outside. These are the center edge pieces. There's all kinds of weird terms you could come up with to make this work. But I'm going to call these the outside edge pieces for the center as I'm doing this. I'm going to bring this one up to the top to replace this piece. And then I'm going to do a 180-degree turn on the top face to get this one out of the way so that I can undo that original slice move. Since this one's already paired up with the red, it's not going to hurt it any. So I'm going to bring this up, do a 180-degree turn on the top face, and then undo that slice turn that I did. And now I've got 2 of those outside edges completely done. And because these do not work the same as the pieces inside the circle, I will have to solve all 6 of these faces just like a regular 5x5. These aren't going to solve themselves across from each other. So the next I want to do is build one of these lines. Doesn't matter which one, but I need to do it on a different face so that I have more free range of movement. So let's find a red inside edge piece. There's one here. I'm going to bring that up to a usable point. Now I want to bring one of these inside corners, outside corners. I'll use all kinds of weird terms here, but hopefully you'll be able to follow along. I'm going to bring one of these corners down to match up with this red edge piece in the center. Bring that down, but I have to remember that I need to undo that slice turn. So I need to get this red that I've just paired up out of the way and then undo that slice turn to keep my circle happy. Same thing here. I'm just going to bring this back because I can now turn the outside faces freely. I want to pair this corner up with this. So I'm going to bring this around to here. I'm going to bring this corner down to here with a slice turn. But I need to make sure and undo that slice. So I got to get this whole completed section out of the way and then undo that slice turn. Now I need to put this red section that I just built onto the red face. So turn this around. Turn this around. There's 2 ways you can do this. I can either bring this up like that and then turn it 180 degrees and then undo that slice turn. Or I could bring one of these red sections down to the blue face, turn 180 degrees on the blue face, to line that red outside center and the inside of the circle up, and then bring that back up. Either way works. They're just as easy. Doesn't matter. Use your personal preference after you fiddle around with it. So next up, I need to build the last line of this red center. So here I've got a red partially built line and a red corner. I need to do this so that I can build everything together. I'm going to get this red corner out of the way. I'm going to bring this red line up to the top. And then when I undo that slice turn, it's going to put this corner in the correct place with this red line. Since I undid that slice turn, it doesn't mess up anything I had built on the red face. So in this particular position, I want to turn this red line out of the way. I'm going to bring this portion of the center around to the orange face, 2 turns, and then I'm going to pair this red line up with that red section of the circle, and then undo those 2 slice turns. So that's done. I'm just going to complete this the same way I normally would on a 5x5, making sure to always undo the slice turn. So I'm going to go a little quicker here. So I've got one of these edges attached to my orange face, so I need to bring another orange one into this position. Got an orange one here. Bring that orange section up, match that one with the orange face, undo the slice turn. Got the first line on the orange face. Now using these middle layers, I need to just pair up and create the line on the orange. So I've got an orange one here. Bring that corner down, get it out of the way, and undo that slice turn. And here I'm going to bring this orange up to the top, full turn, get that out of the way, and then undo that slice turn. Going to build the next orange line. So this corner can go with this edge piece here. Bring that up, out of the way, undo the slice turn, keeping my circle complete. Got another one here. Going to bring that down, get it out of the way, and undo that slice turn. Now here I've got this orange line ready to go. I'm going to bring this orange section down here, 180 degrees on that green face, and then bring that line back up to the top. Orange face done, red face done. Because I'm always going to be undoing these slice moves, I never really have to worry about messing up faces that I've already built. As long as you undo that slice turn and never make a turn with pieces from a face that you've already completed, you're pretty much safe to go. So from here, I'm going to start with white. None of my white edges are on the circle yet, so just start with one there. This one isn't already built as a line portion with the corners, so I'm going to start with that one. Bring it in, get it out of the way, undo that slice turn. Let's find another white edge. This one's already paired up as a line, but the other 2 are as well, so that's just a matter of using whatever you want. I'm going to bring this one up to the top here, across from the edge that I've already completed. A single turn to get those both out of the way, and then undo that slice turn. Next up, let's see. I've already got this built partially, and a corner that can go right up to here. So I'm going to bring that up, get it out of the way, and undo that slice turn. Now, I want this to go here so that I can have this little group of pieces ready to use. So I'm going to bring this section up to the green face, 180 degrees to pair up that full line, and then undo that. Here I've got this partially built line and a white corner down here ready to use. I'm going to bring this corner up to that white line. And in this position, because the white group of pieces from the center is already on the same face here, I don't necessarily need to get this out of the way. I just need to put it paired up with that white section from the centers, or from the circle. And then when I undo that slice turn, it completes the white face. Blue next. Let's see, I've got a couple of edges here that I can use. So either one of these, I'm going to start with this one because it's easier. I'm going to bring that all the way around, turn this to get that completed line out of the way, and undo that 180 degree turn. I've got another edge piece here. I'm going to bring this corner down, get this section here out of the way, bring this back up. I can use either one of these corners, doesn't matter which. I'm going to put this on the bottom. Now when I bring this corner down, it'll create that line there of the outside pieces on the center. Do that, get it out of the way, and undo that slice turn. Now this line needs to go onto this blue face, I'm going to bring it all the way up, get it out of the way, complete it over here, and bring this back out of the way. Main reason I chose to do it that way is because it also rescued this little edge. So now I'm going to put this on the bottom of the green face. I can bring this corner down to here, move it out of the way, and undo that slice turn. I've got this corner here that's already on the blue face. It's not in a position that I can use it with this line, because if I were to bring it down from here, it would just replace a piece that's already correct. So I want to just save this piece first and get it onto the yellow face where I can use it. Same exact procedure applies. I'm going to bring this blue one down to the yellow face, get it out of the way, away from this blue piece that's already complete of the circle, and undo that slice turn. Because I undid that slice turn without rotating anything on the green face where this blue section that I already have completed is, it didn't break anything that was already complete here. Now I can bring this blue one down into this position, get this out of the way, and undo that slice turn. Now I need to get that blue outside section of the center matched up with that. So I'm going to just get this out of the way on the green face. I'm going to bring this section from the blue circle down to the green face, double turn there, and then I'm going to bring these three pieces around to match up with that section from the circle. When I undo that slice turn, pairs all those up. These final two are just as easy, but chances are you will overthink them. I can almost guarantee it. But what you really need to focus on here is building one of these last two colors. Don't even think about the other color. Just focus on building one of these last two colors. If you complete one of those, the other one will have to be correct because there's nowhere else for those pieces to go. So I've already got a block here, but I'm going to go the same way I've been going on these other faces. So I'm going to complete a line on this yellow face. I'm going to bring this over to here. I'm going to bring this edge up here to be across from this edge here. Bring that up. I'm going to turn it so that both of those are out of the way, and then I can undo that slice turn. Now here I've got a yellow line that's already completed, so I can use that however I want. I'm going to get it out of the way first so that the slice turns that I do don't break it up. Get that out of the way. I'm going to bring this section down, because in doing so, I'll also move this corner into a potentially usable position. So bring this section down. I'm going to take this line and pair it up with the circle that I brought down from the yellow face. Now when I bring this back up, I've completed that 2x3 block on the yellow face. Because I prefer using right-hand slices whenever I can, I'm just going to turn that over to the left-hand side. So now I have this free right-hand slice. So over here, I've got this little 2x1 block of yellow pieces ready to go. And this last yellow corner that I need to pair up here. So I'm not worried about the green. Ignoring the green, this yellow needs to be in this position in order to pair up with this line. So first I'm going to do is put it there and see if I can move it without breaking that line. I can. I can turn this right-hand slice without affecting that line of yellow pieces that's already partially built. So I'm just going to get this yellow out of the way, yellow corner. Then the partial turn here is to bring this to this position so that when I bring this slice turn back, it will build this completed yellow line. So I'm going to turn this down to here and undo that slice turn. In doing so, I've completed that yellow line, and now I just need to do one of the same moves that I've been doing here. I'm going to get that yellow out of the way. When I bring this down, that yellow portion of the circle is down onto the green face. If I do a 180-degree turn here, it pairs that up, and I can bring it back up. In finishing that yellow face, the green face is also ready to go. So now I've completed the centers on every single one of these faces. Now, the rest of the solve is almost a standard 5x5 solve. There's still a little bit of more caution that needs to be taken in order to make things work. So give me 1 second just to take a look at this, and I'll come back and help you out. And now we reach the final step of the regular 5x5 type solve. I'm going to be using a free slice method to pair up as many of these edges as I can. So I'll get 4 edges on the left done and 4 edges on the right done. And then I'll be using just some pair, flip the edge, and undo type of setups in order to fix the remaining 4 edges. The cool thing about this, because you've got guaranteed center locations, because of these crosses on the centers that can never leave orbit, you will never run into a parity situation on the last 2 edges. That's just the way it works, because a parity is actually created by the number of slice turns you make during the solve, during the reduction. So here I will be going a little faster, just assuming you have some knowledge of how to do a free slice reduction on a bigger puzzle like this. So the first thing I want to do, I've got this green and yellow center here of the edge. I'm just going to start finding those and pairing them up. Pair that up. My other green and yellow is back here. I just need to bring it to this top. Main thing here is you always just want to make sure you're doing and undoing slice turns. So face turns, rather, on the front, top, back, and down. Whenever you make those turns, you just want to make sure you undo them so you don't mess up the centers that you've already built. Next step, I just need to get this completed edge stored on the left-hand side. Now I've got blue and white here. Let's see, here's a blue and white I can use. Get it out of the way, put it in the back with white facing up, bring it in. I've got another blue and white back here, but if I bring this in, it's incorrect, so I need to flip this edge. This is my preferred edge flipping technique. I'm going to do front, right inverse, front inverse, right, up inverse, right, up, right inverse. Took this entire front edge and flipped it over. So now I can bring that other blue and white into place. I'm going to just store it on the left-hand side and bring a new edge into place. Got red and white here. Let's see, there's a red and white I can bring in, and my other red and white is hiding down here, so I can bring it back here so I can use it. Bring that in. It's good to go. I'm going to store it on the left again. Let's see, orange and green. Let's bring that one in so it's correct. I've got another orange and green hiding here. I'm going to do the same thing to flip this edge so that I can bring this one into place. Front, right inverse, right, up inverse, right, up, right inverse. Now I can bring this green and orange edge into place to complete that edge. Same thing, I just need to store it over here on the left-hand side, and now I've got 4 completed edge on the left-hand side. I'm going to just keep doing that until everything's lined up. This one's in the incorrect place, and this one, those need to flip. I'm just going to get them out of the way. I'm going to flip this entire edge of the orange and white center. Same technique. Now I'm going to bring both of those outside edge pieces up. This time I'm going to store them on the right-hand side. Here I've got red and green. Bring that red and green outside edge piece in. I've got one here that I can use. I'm going to bring it to the back face in a usable position. Bring it in and store it over on the right-hand side. Orange and yellow, let's see, I've got one there that I can put into place, and this other one is on the back that I can bring into place just like that. Put it on the right-hand side, bring a new one in. Red and yellow, that seems to be the same position I had earlier, so get this red and yellow out of the way. Flip this central edge. And bring both of those outer edges back up to the top. And store it on the right. Now I've got all 4 edges on the right-hand side reduced, all 4 on the left-hand side reduced. Just need to undo those slices to make sure that my centers are still built. Now up, I'm just going to start focusing on one edge at a time. So this blue and yellow, I have one here that can come into position and be correct. Now I need to flip this whole edge so that I can undo that slice turn. Undo that slice turn, and that's ready to go. This other blue and yellow can come into position, but I have no way of undoing that slice turn if I do it like that. So what I'm going to do is using a double turn on the front face, bring that yellow and blue that I'm working on down to the bottom, and now I'm going to bring this piece up into the same layer as the blue and yellow that I want to put into that position. So do a double slice there. I'm going to flip this whole edge, same way I've been doing, and then undo that slice turn. In doing so, it completed that blue and yellow. Same thing going here for the green and white. I'm going to do a double turn there. That'll bring that green and white that I need to put into position opposite this. Now I can do a double slice turn into this position, flip this entire edge, and undo that slice turn. It's good to go. Now I've got 2 edges remaining. So this looks like there's a lot messed up, but this goes into another situation where you don't want to focus on both of them because parity will not show up here. You just need to focus on getting one of them correct. If you get one done, the other one is guaranteed to be solved. So in this position, I'm going to focus on solving the red and blue, because even though this looks like it would be easier, if I bring that blue and orange into position, I have no way of undoing that slice turn that I just made. So I'm going to do the same thing that I've been doing. I'm going to put this in the back. Now I can bring this blue and red into this correct position. In doing so, when I flip this entire edge, it'll bring this orange and blue back around to where it belongs. And because I flipped this red and blue part, it'll also bring that other blue and red into position. So all 12 edges have now been completely reduced. And from here, it's just a standard 5x5 solve because you're no longer doing slice turns. The center circles don't play a part in completing the edges. You don't really have to focus on undoing moves and things like that. It's just a matter of completing it just like you normally would a 5x5 solve. I don't focus on CFOP or anything like that, so my 5x5 big cube solves are a little slow, but I'm not too worried about that. You understand what's happening here as long as you know how to solve a 5x5. And bring that up, pair that up. My first 2 layers are now built. I'm going to flip all of my edges in the top. That's done. Let's bring this here. That's done. And last but not least, position my corners in the top and flip those corners so they're oriented correctly. Excuse me. And I messed something up, but whatever. Give me a chance to show you that second step again. So, oh goodness, excuse me. Let's try that again. And there we go. Sorry it took twice, but whatever. You could see what was going on there. So that's the best explanation I can have for this, because these center circles are really the toughest part and add a new challenge to reducing the rest of the centers on these remaining faces. So hopefully that helped out, and best of luck. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and happy solving.